Everyone, welcome to part 3 of our IMB percussion members with this roundtable discussion. In the first 2 parts, you learned about their backgrounds, their traditions, about game days, pre-game days, everything like that. So we are going to round up the discussion today about how marching band has impacted each one of their collegiate experiences and the advice they have for future generations and future band members looking to attend school. Hopefully, we'll also join marching band to make their collegiate experience that much better. So let's start it off with Tyler.
Hey everyone. So marching band and the band community altogether has had a very massive impact on my life. As a matter of fact, I would not be able to attend college without the marching band. To make a long story kind of short, in 2014, my dad was diagnosed with renal cell carcinoma, which for layman's terms is kidney cancer. A lot of the money that we had saved up for me to go to college on was spent on chemo treatments and stuff like that to make sure that he was going to be able to remain healthy and be here for a little longer. Thankfully, through marching band and through the band program, I was able to secure a full ride to college for my talent and to do and pursue what I love doing, and that is band. So yeah, that's the impact it's had on my life.
Has also had a really huge impact on me career-wise. When I was in high school and I loved getting to do marching band, I was like sitting and was like, oh, I wish I could like do this for the rest of my life. And then kind of had like the little light bulb was like, I could do this for the rest of my life. So that's how I ended up being a music education major. And so that obviously had a really big impact. And then college marching band also gave me the opportunity to kind of further my skills in becoming an educator. With college marching band, you're able to make a lot of different connections with different people. And this season for me, my drum tech at Millersville reached out to me and actually offered me a job teching the indoor program at a local high school. And it's honestly been the greatest thing to ever happen to me and just kind of made me realize even further, like, this is exactly what I want to do. So marching band really just made me realize all of that.
It's gonna sound dramatic, but like it's kind of hard to put into words the impact that marching band's had on me. I mean, I've done it for so long and it's kind of been everything in my life for a long time. It's really just like the best, you know, and I think everybody here can agree it's so much fun. It's so great. The performance aspect of it is just so amazing. And I've met my best friend in the world through marching band. I've met like my best mentor in my entire life through marching band. I've made connections with colleagues. I've had teaching opportunities, leadership opportunities. It's taught me things that probably would have taken me years and years and years more to learn, you know, things as simple as responsibility and accountability and being a good leader to people. I've had multiple leadership positions in high school and college, and it's just really been one of the greatest things ever. This past season was my last season ever with it, and it just breaks my heart because I wish I could do it forever. I do. And honestly, if anybody is out there in high school thinking, I don't know if I'm gonna do it in college, do it. Like, I promise you, do it. So yeah, it's really had quite an impact on my life, and I've seen the impact it's had on people around me too.
Yeah, so I have a bit of a unique relationship with my college marching band, actually, because I don't actually go to the school that I'm in the band of. So University of Washington allows what we call non-matriculated students to be part of the band. So if you go to a local community college or online like I do, then you can be part of the band. So just being in the band, since I go to college online, I don't have a lot of people that I interact with every day. Being able to go to rehearsals at the end of the day and just like meet with my friends is like just having that social aspect in my life has been huge. And on top of that, just, you know, playing every day, you know, keeps your hands going. It definitely got me the skills I needed to move on to DCI, which has been just huge moments in my life. And drum corps is just, you know, it's a really big thing for me.
I
going off of kind of what Samantha said, it has definitely taught me some of life lessons that I didn't even think I needed to learn. Before I started marching band, I was kind of coasting, and once I actually got involved, it kind of really kind of slapped me in the face a little bit with with how to go about responsibilities and how to hold myself accountable for a lot of those things. And it's not just being in band, but it's memorizing your music and memorizing formations, and it's being on time, and it's making sure that you're developing relationships within your section and everything. Like it's holding you accountable. And to get a little deep, my musicianship. I know we have a lot of music education majors in this call right now. I actually was a music education major, and then I switched into integrated English education. But I couldn't bear myself to part with music. It still was such a integrated part of my life that I just couldn't let it go. And so I continued with band, and I am so very thankful that I did, because when I went to college, I kind of lost my spark when it came to music. I was in marching band in high school, but through the music courses, I kind of didn't feel it anymore, and I was afraid that I was losing it. I was afraid that I was losing my love for music. But then I ended up going to that information fair, and I joined, and then it was like it awoke everything back up in me, and it was just amazing. And I made so many friends. I honestly dedicate band to be like to getting some of my first friends on campus. I will definitely credit band to that. And it was such a welcoming experience. I felt so involved in my college, and it doesn't even just stop at band. I was also making friends in the cheerleaders and in the football team, and because we had all of this in common. We had game day in common, and it was always so fun to share those memories with those people and not even realize until you talk to them. And it really helps you to get so deeply rooted and involved in not just the band and the community, like in the community. It was awesome. And it taught me a lot of leadership skills. Like I said, I am a marching band secretary now, and I didn't think I would be in this position now, and I'm very glad that I am. It also really helped me to break out of my shell a little more. Going to college, that's a huge transition, especially when you don't realize that you're not prepared for it, and you can very easily find yourself isolating yourself and kind of shelling, like closing yourself off. But the second I joined, and the second that people started welcoming me with open arms, it was like I was so able to just let go and be vulnerable, and just be one with all of these people. And that's why I so heavily encourage it. I was that student too that was like, I don't want to do that. It's not for me. Maybe next year. But then I signed that sheet, and I basically signed my life away, but in a good way. And that's why I heavily encourage any student, anyone that's even has the tiniest little inkling, just try. Just put your foot in the water and try, because it will awaken that in you, and it'll be magical, and you'll be so very thankful that you did it. And you'll have so many memories to look back on and just smile and be thankful for. So.
Yeah, marching band has been a big part of my life since 8th grade, actually, where I went to middle school at the time. 8th graders were allowed to march. And quick funny story, I actually started in marching band because I got grounded. My mother was playing in community band, as was one of the high school drummers. I had to go sit in on a rehearsal, and they invited me to play drums for community band. I had no idea what I was doing. They're like, just watch the conductor, playing some easy Sousa marches. Every time his hands go like this, just hit the bass drum. So there I was in 8th grade. And then the high schooler was like, hey, do you want to come to band camp? I said, what's band camp? I had no idea what he was talking about. So the next morning, first day of band camp, I was holding a pair of cymbals, couldn't read music. The rest of it, they say, is history. I went from cymbals to playing bass to playing snare as I matriculated through high school and then beyond high school, marching college. Obviously, even did a little bit of drum corps with a mutual friend of Carly's, actually. So shout out. some of the big impacts most currently have been my ability to go back to school. I am a little bit of a non-traditional student. I spent some time at the University of Tennessee, Knoxville, studying theory and composition, where I did not march because I didn't have time. I had to work to survive. And then I stopped going to UT before I graduated, was planning on transferring to LSU. That's a whole other long story. Ended up getting married, ended up in Northeast Tennessee, going back to school for an interdisciplinary degree with concentrations in music and theater. And the only way I was actually able to do that was through some of these scholarships, and marching band was one of them. So scholarships were big, camaraderie was big, going into a new area where I didn't know anyone. I'm the transfer student. I don't know anyone at the school. I didn't go to high school with any of these guys. So that was a big impact, as well as just having the activity to do and a physical outlet for sitting in classes all day. You know, that's a big one, for someone like myself. Like, you're sitting in classes all day, and then you get to go outside, put on some weight, a drum, and run around the field. Like, that's huge. Not to mention the fresh air. Beyond that, kind of throughout, like I said, I studied composition, and one of my career goals is to be a composer of different sorts, whether it's film score or musical theater, hence the theater concentration. But marching band has severely affected the style of composition that I write, especially having done a little time with Drum Corps International. Like, the rhythmic influences and things of being exposed to that style of arranging and writing has had a big influence on how I write music, even in a theater setting. So there are all kinds of little gold nuggets that you can get out of marching band. So kind of like Belle said, like, if you're considering it at all, and maybe even if you're not considering it, maybe you should start considering it, because it will have an effect on your life and it will change your life one way or another. I say go for it.
I completely agree with that. Like some of you guys, I didn't think that I knew anybody in the marching band coming in my freshman year. And then turns out I knew 2 people that actually went to my high school. But I didn't know that until I became a little bit more integrated with the band and really tried to make friends through all different sections. Since I did come in as the only featured twirler, I didn't really want to be kept to myself or anything. So the only way I was going to enjoy it as much as I wanted to was to make friends from all different sections. So I definitely agree. Marching band is such a unique experience, and I just want everybody to be able to experience just what a great thing it is to add to your collegiate memories. So since each one of you have a little bit different of experiences, I would like to dive in a little bit to advice. So for future band members or people that are unsure if they really want to do collegiate marching or anything like that, I just want to know a little bit of advice, what you would give to them if you've done any sort of WGI or any other kind of marching and you have advice for that too. Feel free to give it to anybody that is hopefully listening to this and they'll be inspired by your own stories.
Hello again. My biggest word of advice would be for people who have thought about doing marching band or band period, or any type of thing like that, would be to give it a shot. When I was growing up, my grandmother forced me to join marching band. It's kind of interesting because at the time my response was, and she tells me about this all the time, that I said band was for nerds. I didn't want to be in an organization with nerds. But now I'm a music education major. So it's really interesting how 7th grade or 8th grade me all the way to now has changed because of marching. So my biggest advice would be to definitely give it a try. You learn so many different things. You make all these connections. Like the people that I know now, I would not know if I hadn't done marching band. So just give it a try. It may change your life for the better.
So for me, my advice, I have 3 pieces of key advice, I think. One that I'm sure you're going to hear from everyone is to just go for it, to give it a try. If you're hesitating, if you think like, oh, it might be too much commitment, or, I'm not sure this is what I want to do, just give it a try, give yourself that opportunity, because you don't want to regret it later. I know that I would have regretted it if I hadn't joined last second. And I honestly can't imagine my college career without having marching band involved. Granted, I'm not a music major like most of you. I'm an aviation management major. It's completely off the specter there, but I couldn't imagine college without it. It's been my social life. It has given me many leadership opportunities, career opportunities. I've made lifelong friends. I've met my girlfriend, whom I am planning on marrying at one point. It's given me so many opportunities. I'd also suggest that once you actually start getting into it, don't let yourself be lazy and skip little details here or there, because if you're being lazy, you're going to get worse and worse and worse. You're going to start having a lot less time. There's going to be animosity towards you, perhaps, and you're going to have just a worse time. It's not going to be as fun. So don't let yourself be lazy, because it's really fun to be good, right? And finally, don't be shy. You want to try to make the most out of this, whether it be your actual skill level, the experience itself. But for most people, I believe the social aspect is huge. So don't be shy. Try to make friends. Try to have the best time you can. Talk to people, because like I said, you really do meet lifelong friends here, and you meet people who will change your life forever. You'll get opportunities if you just make friends with the right people. Like for me, the directors like me, so I actually did get a full ride scholarship this last year because of all the work that I've done and everything. And not only is that good for me, but it's good for my family, because I have a little brother who's going to college next year. So it allows my family time to save up just that much more money, as I'm an out-of-state student, so it's expensive, as you can imagine. But anyway, in summation, it is really a life-changing opportunity. I know people will be corny about it, but like in the most serious way I can say, it is life-changing, and I think you should just give it a shot and do your best.
Hey, the advice that I would give is just like the other two. I say if you're questioning it or anything, give it a shot, because really for me, not only did it help me with band, it helped me with everything I did, because the advice they gave me in band, you probably heard it, is like make every rep a performance. Like play it as you're performing, because like not only that, it gives me a chance to do things the best of my ability the first time, the second time, and the third time to only get better. I know I was an orientation leader this past summer, and we had to learn like a dance routine, and like I always told them, make every rep a performance, because you don't want to go halfway into it and then all of a sudden it's time and you're used to that flow and everything. No, you want to make the most out of everything. Like every rep is a performance. Every day of college, every day of practice, you just want to do your best in everything you do. So yes, that's how it's helped me.
My advice is, just don't be afraid to go for opportunities, just everywhere, honestly. Just this past season, the ship Drumline did like a Santa Clara Vanguard recording style performance to the song The Middle by Zed. And over the summer, I was writing some drum beats on the side because, summertime and DCI is canceled and it's sad. So what do? You just sit in front of a computer and write some drum beats and drum licks and all. I actually went up to the percussion director and asked if I could put some drum beats in this performance, and he said, sure, go for it. And if I didn't go for that opportunity, I would have not been able to hear the music that my style per se show up for just maybe even 5 seconds. So that also leads me into the other advice, which is don't be afraid to try new things, even if it's something out of your comfort zone. Whether it be auditioning for a group, DCI or WGI, or even if it's going out for a section leader or captain of the drumline in general, where they have to make you write a 2-page essay and do a sight reading performance, just go for it, honestly. It gives you that experience, and you can look back on it and have memories of, yeah, I remember the one time I did that, and you know what, I got it. Or, that was the one time that I played something amazing.
future band members, I want all of them to be able to listen to your advice and take it to heart, because it will definitely make your 4 years or more of college, however many. Some people, I just wish that I could have done it longer, to be honest, because the marching band made it so much better, and I would have done it for many more years to come if I could. So thank you all for joining me so much. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so excited to have all of you on this call and share your passion for marching band with the rest of the world. This was the first ever Intercollegiate Marching Band Percussion Roundtable, and I think it went wonderfully, and I loved hearing everything that you guys had to say. So for other marching arts, make sure you guys go check out Style Plus TV, who can also be found on social media at styleplus_band. If you also are on social media, make sure you follow Intercollegiate NB, as well as all of these percussionist marching bands that they're a part of. I'll have those on the screen. To stay in touch, make sure you follow these, because their seasons are just going to get more memorable from here. So thank you all so much for joining me. We'll see you later.